Yo. We got a brand new hockey happy hour coming at you. We're doing live reactions and post game of the Carolina Hurricanes New York Rangers game 4 right now. Rangers up 3-0. Can Carolina come back? We're going to discuss that. Maddie, somewhere. Tove, we got Greg Milakovic joining us. It's time to go. Let's talk some puck.
Let's go! This ain't the puck night! Oh, this game he stinks!
Oh, shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Satsuti, along with the Dark Wing, Brian Daly.
What up?
The Broken One, Rob Povia.
Yo, what's up, party people?
And we got Steppy himself, Greg Milakovic. What's going on?
What up, fellas?
Not much, man. Just, playoff hockey. That's what's going on.
Gotta love it.
It's been a hot minute since we've been at happy hour together, brother. Welcome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, boys. I got a little nervous. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I don't have a cool nickname. But then I forgot we got Steppy, so we're good. We're good.
That's true. You need a nickname if you're going to be on hockey, anything, quite frankly. And today, as always, we are brought to you by Manscaped. You can get 20% off free shipping with the A2D code there at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Because, Bri, you know it, I know it, Greg knows it, Rob knows it, and the ladies know it. What don't they like?
Hey, ladies don't like your junk funk, boys. Time to get cleaned up.
Product placement there for some lip balm.
Yeah.
They got everything. Manscaped's the best.
Absolutely. So
we just got some new stuff today. So, guys, going out, you're going out after work. Get some of them crop wipes, man. Give yourself a little wipe down before you go. You smell great.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care of yourself, because once you do that, the ladies will be all over you. You'll feel good about everything. You'll feel great in life. Isn't that what you want? I can tell you who's not feeling great in life. That's the Florida Panthers. But before we dive into any of that, we have our poll question brought to you by BetUS. Hey, listen, here on this show and on every other show, we give you top advice on pretty much anything in sports. So take our advice, go to BetUS. It's the leading online sportsbook that has been in the market for over 25 years, and you can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. All you got to do is use that link you see down below for 125% sign-up bonus. So you get a great benefit right off the bat. Take our advice and you start winning yourself some money. Might be kind of worth looking into, right? And our poll question is, the Hurricanes will advance to the Eastern Conference Finals after Game 5. Agree or disagree? And currently right now, the Rangers are doing a pretty good job of making sure that doesn't become a possibility. But, gents, we still got a whole period of play left. What do you think?
Greg, go first, man.
Yeah, I wish I could agree to the poll, but I'm going to have to disagree. Unfortunately, this game is just it's been all Rangers right now. And Carolina just can't sustain anything, especially in the offensive end. So I just don't see a way that they're able to get back in this game. I do think they win this series, but it's just not. Unfortunately, it's not going to be after Game 5.
Yeah, I agree. I was hoping for better when I created this poll question, but it's unfortunately it's got to be a disagree here. like Greg said, Rangers have been all over them, all kinds of sustained pressure in the offensive zone. They're winning puck battles. They're winning races to the puck. They're just pretty much they're making the Hurricanes look outmatched, and being up 3-0. Crazy shit's happened before, but being up 3-0 going into the third period, it's gonna be tough for the Hurricanes to climb out of the hole.
Oh, it definitely is. Coming in the game 4, Madison Square Garden, crowd's really pumped. We saw that guy, looking like he just won $1 million catching a puck in the stands. Congratulations. But you had to expect this to happen. You know what I mean? The Rangers get down 2-0 in the series, and they come back home. They get back into this series with a very solid Game 3 victory. And I think if you want to point a finger at somebody, you got to point a finger at Max Domi. You lit a match underneath some gasoline that didn't need to be ignited. With that cross check on Lindgren towards the end of the game, got the Rangers fired up, and they've come into this game with that same fire, that same passion. And we saw that on the Jacob Trouba hit earlier tonight, sending a message like, we're not here to take your bullshit, as well as Ryan Reeves throwing the body around. So you had to expect, an answer back from the Blue Shirts, who've had a successful season. I'm with Greg. I think ultimately Carolina has enough defense and plays that well at home. They got their home ice advantage for a reason. It's going to be a best of 3 now, because you knew this series was going 7, boys.
I would say disagree. I think the Rangers will tie I would say the Rangers would probably tie this series up. They got a 3-0 lead right now. It's not insurmountable. We all know that. We've seen some comebacks here in the playoffs that would make you go, how did you fuck up that lead? But at the same time, I would say I just don't see it happening. Yeah, I think the Hurricanes, they might get a goal. Maybe they might get a second one possibly. But, if the Rangers score another one, go up 4-1 or 4-0, I think I think we see the Rangers tie the series up, and I think we see this series go to at least 6 games, possibly 7. And I just don't see this series ending quickly, because these two teams they're fighting hard to try and take control. Carolina is trying to hold on to the series. The Rangers are trying to get back into the series, and they tie this series up. They're very much back in it.
No, I mean, we saw. I'm sorry, real quick. Zibanejad getting that goal, working hard, cleaning up the porch there to make it 3-0. That's a pivotal goal. I mean, that's the goal that usually decides most hockey games. To your point, Matty.
Yeah, and the Rangers are doing a very good job of keeping Carolina off of their game, which is pretty much a chip and chase kind of game. They like to get in behind the defense and set up, and they always have a guy in front of the net. Rangers are doing a good job of keeping the front of the net clear. They're one of the best defensive teams in hockey for a reason. And this is where my concern for the Hurricanes came into play, is because they don't really have that superstar. And they have don't take it away from their top 9 is great. They all work together, and Brendan Moore runs a great system, and they're all flourishing in it. But they don't have a legit superstar. They don't have the guy that they can lean on in moments like this, where they're like, all right, dude, we need you to get out there and get something going. They don't have that guy. I like Sebastian Aho, but he's not that guy. I like Teuvo Teravainen, but he's not that guy. Nino Niederreiter, he's not that guy.
Real quick, Brian, they just showed this on ESPN. It has to do with Aho and Teravainen. Shot attempts with both on ice in these playoffs on the road. 76 shots for, 24 against. 0 combined points between the duo. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up, right? Because I think that thought and that theory kind of transcends multiple sports, right? Especially as you get down to the nitty gritty, right? You're down to the Final Four on each side, and when you get down to this time of the year, you need those high profile guys, those high paid guys, those superstars to lean on in these times. It's all great and fine to be very, very well balanced, right? And a team atmosphere. That's all fine and good, especially with the type of game and system that Carolina plays. However, at some time though, you need that sniper. You need that guy that's going to get you that goal in that tough time, or come up with a big play to set somebody else up. And as of right now, they're just not getting that right now.
Yeah, you need that clutch player. You need a Danny Briere kind of like player, that Mr. Playoff, the guy who's going to put the team on his back and say, "Don't worry, boys. I know we need to get those big goals. I'll get them. You guys just keep us in the game, and we'll be fine." That's kind of what you got to have. You got to have those players just as much as you got to have the really good defensive ones and the great goaltending. Which credit given though, even though he's let in 3 goals tonight. Ronta still made some pretty big saves tonight, and he's having himself quite a run. And you wouldn't have expected it if you rewound the tape 5 years ago, because that was a guy who was just a backup. But sure enough, he's having himself quite a run right now here for the Carolina Hurricanes. And
that's all you need. That's all you need is a goaltender on a hot run.
In a lot of ways. I mean, look at Johnny Quick. 2 cups. Major part of the Kings winning 2. All right. Let's see here. Dylan chiming in. Carolina could use Elias Lindholm right now. Thanks for him, Carolina. And we got Joe chiming in. Yo, what's going on, fellas? I had G winning it all. My bracket's busted. I'm a root for the Flames for the rest of the playoffs. # kiss of death. Yeah, the Panthers, man. I will say it forever. That President's Trophy, don't fucking win it. You're going to fucking get eliminated. It's only a matter of time. And sure enough, and they went out in dramatic fashion, getting their asses swept right out of it. Of course.
Right away, as soon as they got swept, Maddie, real quick, I went on Twitter, and trending was Giroux with him just giving a big sigh, saying, "Man, I should have went to Colorado."
Yeah.
I feel so bad
hold
for
the
him.
franchise hostage, you little bitch. Oh, poor guy. He fails in the playoffs again.
You're on that
I wouldn't
train,
necessarily say he failed.
No, I don't. I completely get you. I don't care though. Like that whole ending.
I know. Like I had this
ruined him for me, and
No, I get it.
Just, see ya. Have fun in Florida.
I mean, you see that with all. I mean, like for example, when Gretzky's time came to an end in Edmonton, he wanted to go to LA, and he went to LA. And I'm not comparing Claude Giroux to Wayne Gretzky, but he is a major player in this league. If you look at his stats ever since the Crosby coming into the league, he's right up there with them all. But I think he should have a say. And if you want to treat your captain with respect, you send him to where what his preference is, and I get that. But there's no denying your point. They could have gotten a better package.
Yeah, they definitely could have. So we got Dylan saying, "What's going on, guys? Let's pray for the major bounce back win for the Flames. Need Saint Jerome to bless us with the W." So I love how you guys did that synchronized too. That was actually really cool. I would say, the Flames and the Oilers. That's been a fun series. You talk about going back to the past. Holy shit. First game was like, what, 8-6?
9-5?
Yeah, something like that.
9-6.
9-6.
15 goals. I remember texting you guys at 11 goals. Holy smokes. and we called it. We were right balls on accurate. There's going to be a lot of goal scoring in this series, and there certainly has been.
Yeah. Like, I think it was the first shot of the whole series, and Mike Smith let it in the back of the net. And no, I'm not joking when I say that. Mike Smith actually should have saved that, because that was not that wasn't a tough shot. And it just went right through him into the back of the net. Holy shit. And then the next game, there was still a pretty decent amount of goals. And even though the last game was a blowout in favor of the Oilers, it was still 5-1. So that's still a pretty good amount of goals right there, too. So it's like, holy shit. Even though the goals went down a little bit, it's like, god damn, that's still a lot.
I will give credit to Mike Smith after getting lit up like a Christmas tree in game 1 and then giving up 2 early goals in game 2. He got his game back together. He made a sweet pass that led to a Leon Draisaitl breakaway goal. It's not about the poor performance, I think, in the playoffs. It's how you rebound from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had a good response. And then they go on and win in convincing fashion in game 3. And now it's like, I mean, I still think it's an equal must-win for both teams because obviously if you're Calgary, you don't want to get down 3-1 in general. But with Edmonton, you want to take this opportunity to get up 3-1 because if you go back to the Saddledome 2-2.
Yeah. This has been my favorite series to watch. And it's just because there's times in this series, there's times where you can sit there and look at both teams and you go, is this team ever going to lose again? Like in the middle of a game, like, oh, I mean, Calgary's up 3-0. Calgary's going to win the cup. They're never losing again. And then Edmonton comes back in the same game, and you're like, Edmonton's winning the cup. They're never losing again. And it's just because it's been that back and forth, and it's so awesome. And both you guys make a great point about Mike Smith because, we know in the playoffs, you're not going down, right? You might get pulled the game, but your number one's back in there in the next game, right? And he was able to dust himself off and hone in, and he's been spectacular ever since.
No, and that's a big thing for Mike Smith. Mike, he's had his ups and downs with the Oilers. He's had his ups and downs since he left Arizona, really. So it's just one of those things of a lot of shade's been thrown at him over the last few years, and most of it justified. But for him to bounce back after a rough game one, it's a huge step in the right direction for him. For the Oilers, I mean, it's a huge step in the right direction for them to actually win a series on top of it as well. So, let's see here. Chuck's saying, yo, gentlemen. What's going on, Chucks?
What up, Chucks?
We got Brad saying Rangers rule tonight. The Canes are getting their butts kicked. So far, they absolutely are.
Tremendous response. I mean, good leadership from Gallant, too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. Calling it like a see it down the middle. You know what I mean? I think he really had his team prepared tonight.
Yeah. Gallant's a good coach like that. He can rally his troops. And Ryan Swoop. What's up, Ryan? Saying, Swoopy coming in saying a couple of games ago, Canes didn't get it together till the third and played the way they were expected to play before the third.
Yeah, I think I know what game you're referring to, Swoopy. You know what I mean? It definitely took a little while to find their legs. But, which is surprising, for, Rod Brindamore-led team.
Yeah. You wouldn't think a lazy period would come out of that team. Brindamore wouldn't stand for it.
Oh, he got the whistle out after the game. Again. Herb, they've had enough. Sorry. I get lost in the movies.
Hey, not
I think you're on mute, man.
I don't think I can hear Greg. Greg, I think you might have muted yourself.
Oh, I muted myself. My bad.
That's all right. I've done that. I've been known to do that. That's
I felt like I was on a work call. What I was saying is, and Ryan's probably right with, Carolina playing their type of game, but that's not an offensive outburst type of game, right? I don't see a 4-goal period coming from them, right? Or even a 3-goal period to get it to overtime, right? They might get a goal, they might get 2, but that just seems to be the extent of what Carolina can do in a period, right? You know what I mean? Like, especially when their backs are down. So it'll be interesting to see as we start here the third period. What type of response do you get out of Carolina? Because obviously they're also setting up next game too, right?
Yep.
Whether they wave the white flag or whether they come out firing and try and get this one, they're also setting up for game 5.
Yeah. I mean, so
to your point, real quick, Maddie, Greg, is that the Rangers defense has really stepped up the last couple of games. They're, like I said, they're not letting Carolina set up in the zone. They're not allowing them to play their game. They're forcing them to the outside. They're beating them to pucks. They're winning battles in the corners, and the transition is it's smooth and quick. And Carolina just they can't keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this third period plays out. Carolina, if they can at least get a goal, that might shake things up enough to where we start to see Maybe the Rangers make a couple of mistakes here and there, and they start to say, oh, shit, okay, we need to. Sometimes that can happen. Sometimes no. Gallant's not that kind of coach to let things like that slide. He's usually good enough at keeping his team calm. But it'll be interesting to see if Carolina could score here. What will the Rangers' reaction be to that? Benny's Nation saying Carolina has had their chances. How many posts have they hit? Carolina does need to improve on their power play. By the way, Benny's Nation's got a little logo there off to the side. That also means that he is an A2D member. And I would recommend very much that you become an A2D member because there's a lot of good perks. It's $9.99 a month. You get appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, weekly sports picks from the Money Pop Podcast and Willie Vegas, which you could use, and make yourself a little bit of extra cash on the side. You'll be paid to be a A2D member. So not a bad idea to think about. Something to think about there.
Maddie, I'm seeing a lot of tweets from Money Moss, man. A lot of them in the green right now. He's running hot.
Yeah. Well, take advantage of that. Put that $9.99 in and then make yourself some nice cash. And also,
Willie loves DFS baseball. I know he's throwing out 3-4 lineups a week to everybody in the group.
Nice.
Willie loves him some DFS baseball, so definitely worth the $9.99 a month for sure.
Nice. Yeah. So take advantage. Take advantage, guys. We want you to make money here. And comments brought to you by Gleason's Bar, located 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. You use the promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out. You go online at Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. Great food there. And hey, listen, you get yourself a nice little discount. And if you're ever in the Levittown area, check it out anyway. It's worth it. Absolutely worth it. All right. So back to our topic at hand. And that is, of course, the third period here between the Rangers and Carolina. So far, seems like Carolina's kind of trying to get things going here, but the Rangers seem to be doing a real good job of stymieing it a little bit. There's been a couple of chances, but nothing that the Rangers haven't been able to handle so far.
Got smoked. Nice hitting the corner boards.
Someone's dead.
You know, Canes have come out with energy, though. They've come out with jump. You know what I mean? And Greg said it perfectly earlier. You know, you may not come back and win this game, but it's all about building for the next game, too, if you can't come back in this game. Carolina has had one comeback this season of 3 goals or more.
And we got a penalty coming up. Interference.
Get the Flyers?
Probably.
Yeah. Even in a game they don't play in. Just see
bodies down in front.
Yeah.
No bodies hit the floor. Right.
I can just see the commercial right now. This is the next commercial. Yo, the NHL playoff commercials have been straight fucking fire. Like, it just gets me pumped. Like, I'm like ready to go. You know, I'm ready to strap them up again.
And let's see here. We got Don.
Here we go. Early power play for Carolina here in the third.
Yep.
See if they can get one across.
Back in the game. Yeah.
Don saying what's up to everybody out there. What's going on, Don?
Don's here too.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's also taking shots saying, Greg, you're muted. You're new here.
I love Don.
Yeah. He also went on to rip himself because he says, I'm a member too. Oh, wait.
He was.
Yeah.
He's slacking.
Yeah. Can't deny that, man. You got to get back on that shit. Let's see here.
He's getting ready for his Lions season tickets.
For what, 2 wins or 1 win?
His $9.99 a month goes to his season tickets.
Dylan saying Game 3 was one of the worst efforts from the Flames all season. Oilers are celebrating like they won the cup. It's a 7-game series. Sutter has been in these situations before. Yes, he has. I watched as one of his teams in the Kings came back from a 3-0 series deficit on the Sharks. So don't want to count his teams out. Never want to do that.
Especially when that year they came back from 3-0, they wound up winning the cup. So
yeah. Let's see here. Carolina takes a shot. I don't even know. Yeah, that did get to Shesterkin. He made the save, though.
Yeah, he sort of did like a little got the arms up, blocked it out of play.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I heard the most idiotic thing the other night. I gotta address it.
I
real
do
quick.
too.
What
Not
game
I
was
ain't
it?
gonna lie. I would be okay with that.
What were you gonna say, Rob?
Oh, it was in the Florida Tampa game where the analyst actually said that they should make the netting white to see the puck better on the out of bounds play that they had to review. That was the first goal taken back off the board for Tampa Bay. I think I want to even say I think it was Tocchet, and I'm highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. Think about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They make it pretty sheer, so I'm sure it wouldn't be as much as I think it would be. But you want to talk about obscuring the fans' view? You're going to make it white, really? They're going to be. It's black for a reason, dipshit. I gotta call it like I say it. I love you, Talk.
Listen, Talk's a player and a coach. He's not in charge of the logistics of the NHL.
He's used to seeing it from ice level. Yeah, not like us fucking jujukes over here up in section 210. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think that was a thing. I thought like, yeah, you might miss it in real time, but as soon as you get a replay or whatever, it's usually pretty crystal clear that it hits the net.
Yeah, pretty obvious. It's funny though, because when you go sometimes on television, depending upon where you see the game from, you can't really see the netting, which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you go live, yeah, you could see it, but like Rob said, it doesn't obscure your vision, and you don't want to do that.
Maybe instead of that, they should go back to the glowing pucks.
Oh yeah, but the
no Fox tracks, no. I wanted to get your boys' opinion on this real quick, talking about goals taken back. The second goal for Tampa Bay was off the face-off where it was deemed a hand pass because in order to win the puck back, he had to get the knuckles on it. It wasn't the stick blade, right? So the goal's taken off the board, but then they're like, well, yeah, that's a penalty, right? And if it's called on the ice, that is a penalty. But they said we can't call a penalty from watching it on review. We would have had to call it initially. What's your thoughts on that? Should that have been called a 2-minute penalty?
See, the problem is it's like it's one of those things with replay, it's like, well, the ref can't call what he can't see. And if the ref didn't see it initially, it's kind of hard to say, well, if we go back and replay that, okay, now we can make that call. Because then what's going to happen is we've seen a lot of coaches challenge for goaltender interference for the better part of the first round. Maybe not as much of the second, but we saw it like 50,000 fucking times to the point where it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. What, can you not even sneeze in front of the goalie before they're going to challenge for fucking goaltender interference? This is a goddamn travesty. It's become a fucking horse show. And so I think you get that. It would be worse if that starts to happen. Because then you'd see the coaches throw out the challenge of, well, it looked like he hooked him and you weren't seeing it, so I'm going to throw the challenge out so that you have to look at that and call that a hooking penalty. I get it that replay allows you to see more than before. I get that side of it, but at the same time, it's like you're going to make the game slower. Because then if the coach sees something and the players see something and the fans see something and they see something all the time, it will then be coach's challenge, throw it out. And then you get into the issue of the coaches might levy, well, I want more challenges too, because I want to be able to reverse more decisions that were not called. It's like, oh, we're going to slow the game up even more. Like, you don't want to do that.
It could set an ugly precedence. I get that. I get that. I believe that the review was because it was an out of bound call or a non-stoppage call. I think that's what they referred it to.
Yeah.
Improper. So that's what necessitated it, not the goalie, the coach's challenge. But that wouldn't matter because if you started seeing that, then all of a sudden we're turning hockey into baseball. I get it.
Yeah.
See, I agree with you, but I also disagree. So I agree that I don't want challenges for regular penalties.
Yeah.
But I also think if you're already going to the monitor to review something and you get it wrong and you can make it right by doing it, then do it. My biggest thing with replay in all sports is how do you continue to go to the replay, the monitor, and you continue to get it wrong? Right? Whatever. There's one.
Oh,
You know, whatever it is,
Top
right?
shelf.
You know, do I want challenges for oh my god, my guy got hooked, let me throw the flag? No. Not at all.
Yeah,
right.
I don't.
Gotcha.
To your point, Matty, don't need the game slowed down anymore by let me go challenges ticky tack. Ticky tack. Call that was missed, right? But if you're already going in there, like whether you're, already the goaltender interference or the bad stoppage, and you notice that hey, because it was this, now that's a penalty. I think it's still got. I think it's got to get made right.
No, I got you, and that is a good point. That's a very good point right there. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to make that right.
What up, Tommy?
Yeah, what's up, Tom? It's just it's a tough call because you worry about like you kind of feel like, to me, I worry it's a slippery slope.
Sure.
Once we start going down that path, because then it's like, okay, how far are we going to go with this?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Because we see it happen in other sports. Like I think in the NFL you could see a challenge for certain calls and it takes fucking forever, and it could be in a playoff game especially. And it's like, for fuck's sake, make the freaking call. Are you going to do it or are you not going to fucking do it? Is it a flag? Is it not a flag? Was it a touchdown? Was it not a touchdown? Was he fucking inbounds? Was he not? And it sometimes takes fucking forever to get to those decisions.
No, you're absolutely right.
And let's see here. Got Ritz saying, what's up? What's up, Ritz?
What up, Reddy?
And Benny's Nation saying, in Detroit, you're probably right. You can get a few lap dances.
My man.
$9.99 lap dances. I don't know if I want any part of it, but hey, let's go. Detroit, to his point, in Detroit, maybe we're in. Not having those $9.99 lap dances.
Yeah.
It is Detroit, so I don't know if I'm going to a strip club in Detroit.
Maybe not even in the suburbs.
I mean, I barely went to a strip club in Philadelphia.
Well, let's see here. Benny's also saying, do you just say no one in the paint at this point? That was what I was thinking at this point, where they were throwing out all those goaltender interference challenges. And I thought, like, okay, well, why don't we just bring back the fucking crease roll at this point? It's like no skates in the blue paint and careful where you are in front of the goaltender at all times. It's like, if we're going to start making these coaches challenges and this goaltender interference go this way, it's like, just bring back the crease roll at this point. Just bring it back. It's I get it. You want to protect goalies and you want to give goalies a fair shot and you don't want them fucked with. I get that. But at the same time, it does say in the rule book, referee's discretion. It does say that. So as much as that pisses me off at times, that's the way it goes. Referee's discretion at the end of the day.
Speaking of goalies and whatnot, what do you guys think of the Lucic hit the other night? Do you think it was malicious? Did you just think it was bad timing?
No, it wasn't malicious at all. I know Lucic has that reputation behind him, but you could tell if you watch the replay, he's trying to break, and Mike Smith turns on him.
Yeah,
and that turn throws off Milan Lucic, and unfortunately they collide. And then Mike Smith, being Mike Smith, tried to embellish that a little bit more. He did get the penalty, which is fine, but they made the right call not suspending him. You can tell that Lucic tried to throw the brakes on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was a good try right there. By the way, who scored that goal for Carolina? Does anybody know?
Teravainen.
Okay, then. Interesting.
Yeah, I agree, bro. You could tell that he tried to pull up. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. I mean, because if he wanted to barrel into him and blow him up, I think Mike Smith might still be dead.
I'll put it to you this way: it wasn't no Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, nothing like that.
That's it. Water bottle gate going down over there, and that's here. See, I think minus the Florida Tampa series, which was a dud. I think all the series have been very entertaining or equally entertaining for me.
Yeah,
I bet Tampa Bay to win this series, so that wasn't a dud for me. It just got done a lot quicker than normal, right?
Make that money. Hey. I'm not saying it can't be lucrative. It just wasn't a very exciting series. When is a sweep very exciting? You know what
No,
I
you're
mean?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
I was in Miami last week at a work function, and a couple of us debated going up to Sunrise to go to the I think it was game 2 at that point.
Right.
But the Uber ride would have been almost an hour Uber ride from where we were, just because they play out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they play in Sunrise, which is a decent part away from Miami.
Yeah, definitely. It's
For
funny
sure.
too, because at the same time, the game 2 of the Celtics Heat series, and so $150 got you upper level in the door at the Heat game. $150 at the hockey game would have gotten you like lower level.
Yeah.
Doesn't that say everything?
Sure. Plus, thinking about setting up for that game, all right, Tampa already took one on the road. You're like, what are the chances that they're going to take a second in the road? You got to expect like a Florida response at that point. So to go through that Uber ride, you know what I mean? Like, I want to go see my team win. You know what I mean? So I get your reluctancy there, but lo and behold, this team's been amazing, man. For how much hockey, and I got to eat some crow, boys. I've been saying how I've been, picking against Tampa, that they're going to fade out from all the hockey they played. This team has that never say die attitude that you want on any club, on any sport.
Yep.
You're minus your best point scorer right now in Braden Point, excuse the pun, and you still are just rolling and just rolled over the President's Trophy winner. You know, it's amazing. Dazzy's amazing. This team's amazing.
Yeah, like without
it's
a
just
fight,
not
too.
fair.
Like without a fight. Like it was like was Florida even in the series?
They were in game 2, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, game 1, they took way too many penalties. Actually, I think we were live reacting to that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many penalties they gave to Tampa and allowed them to take that game. Game 2, close battle, but at the very dying minute, or I think seconds of the third period, Colton found the back of the net, and that fucks you over. Kills any momentum you were hoping for.
Mackenzie Weegar, I know the kid's been beaten up enough, so I'm going to save on him, but what were you thinking?
Yeah.
He made some bonehead penalty calls in that series, man. That was the one thing I said when we were essentially breaking that series down was Florida Panthers need to not take stupid penalties. And what did they do the entire series? They took stupid penalties.
You take bad penalties, and then you don't score on your power plays. It's a kiss of death.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I was saying this earlier to some schmuck in a group last night, and
there's no schmucks in groups. Stop it, Brian.
That's over.
Brian, there's no schmucks in groups.
Don't
take that back.
Oh, Rangers.
They're all smart. They're all too smart. They're all trying to be the smartest guy in the room. But
so the Rangers just scored there, made it 4-1.
Of course they did. I'm talking. So
of course, so somebody's got to score.
I mean, that offense just completely went cold. It's not. I don't necessarily blame Tampa Bay's defense because I mean, yeah, they're one of the best defenses in the league. And they have the best goaltender in the world right now. But that offense just went cold, man. They just went flat out cold. It doesn't matter if it was 5-on-5 power play, whatever. When you have 3 guys in that entire series have 1 point, and that's it, you're never going to win a series.
Nope.
Also, when you get shut out in the third period, 8-0 throughout the entire series, that's not going to win you hockey games either.
Nope.
The Rangers' passing has just been phenomenal in this game. We saw it on the power play, the first goal of the game on the power play, going seam to seam. A guy gets pinched in, keeps the puck in, goes down deep, passes it across, and you just saw it again. Center, Carolina's doing a poor job back checking, getting the loose man in front of the net right now, and we saw Florida make the same mistakes in that series too.
Don couldn't happen to a better guy.
That's
couldn't
really
happen
like
to a better guy, Don.
Yeah,
that Mr. They say that he went out bad. but he was one of the 3 guys who actually had a point in that series.
So
and
he
he
also
averaged a
contributed
point
to
a
the
game.
first
He averaged a point a game
Yeah.
in the playoffs this year. So, it just goes to prove, like, yeah, G had a bad playoff experience here, and that's also because, and this kind of proves the point, that he needed more support around him.
Well,
Oh my God.
good old
Brian,
organization.
going to Twitter again after that game. There was another one. I almost forgot about this tweet.
Oh, no.
Where it goes, G and getting abandoned by his teammates in the playoffs, the new dynamic duo. It's fucking fantastic.
He had to have thought, like, man, I came down here and I thought that things were going to be different. Nope, things are exactly the same, man. You still the same shit, different team. Same shit, different team. Nothing changed. By the way, John says he's happy that Giroux's out of the playoffs. When that final whistle blew in Game 4, I got a penalty, 2 minutes for high stick and hashtag Giroux hater. Well, we got the leader of the Giroux haters on the show right now, so there you go. Good old Steppy right on over here, man.
Oh, yeah.
We all know that Greg, he'll charge into battle carrying that Giroux hater flag. Just like, hell yeah, man.
No, you all shut your mouth when you're talking bad about Jay. You know what I mean?
See, and we're all, the 3 of us, we're on the side of, it wasn't G that failed the Flyers. It was the Flyers that fucking failed him because this organization couldn't figure out how to build a team if they had fucking written instructions right in front of their face. They're, we got to build a decent team with good, solid defense, great goaltending, and some great offense with some great passers and goal scorers. Fuck it. Let's just not bring any wingers into the organization, and let's not bring any pure goal scorers. We'll be fine. And let's throw a bunch of rookies in and, see if they can handle the pro level when they're not sure they can.
And
Smart move, boys.
That can't skate.
Yeah, and bring in some of those big names that are well past their prime, like a Keith Yandel. And, gotta love this organization. Fuck you, Flyers. Fucking idiots. Anyway, Don saying Tampa might really three-peat. Yeah, they might very well be on the road. I mean, they got 2 more. They got to get 8 more wins, but may not sound like a tough feat, but it is. However, they'll be facing either the Rangers or Carolina, which will be very intriguing to see how they go up against either one of those teams. And then on top of that, then they got to face off with someone in the West. Oh, boy. I will say this, though. I don't think any argument can come. If Tampa three-peats, they're the best team of this century. Ain't no one going to argue against that. Like, you can't argue against this team being the best of the era. They three-peated. No other team can say they've accomplished that feat. Like, the Penguins can't say it. Thank God. The fucking Red Wings can't say it. No one can say it. It's just Tampa, all by themselves.
Not since what was it? The Islanders, the last team.
Yeah, back in the early '80s.
I forget who. Oh yeah, I probably just forgot who went first. The Islanders or Oilers in their run.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know. Oh, that's right. That's from my neck of the woods. Ross Colton, Robbinsville, New Jersey native. Nice.
Good for him. Good to see a Jersey boy contributing something to his team. Flyers South. Talking about the Panthers.
If I look at this correctly, it looks like Tampa was 1-2 against Carolina this year.
Interesting. What about this doesn't tell you the Rangers at all?
I'm doing it right now.
Meanwhile, Carolina fired a shot in on Shesterkin. It wasn't really a threatening shot because it went way high and wide.
It looks like they're 4-4 against the Rags.
Okay, then. So, all right then. Although, since Vasilevsky's woke up now, he had his nap in the first round, and then Game 7 showed up. He's like, "Oh, okay, that's enough rest. I think it's time to start being myself again and just, fuck over Toronto another year." Which, to be fair, I got plenty of enjoyment out of. I can't deny.
Oh, there's no doubt. Oh, that's the other side of the beauty is watching Toronto fans get all hyped up, and then oh,
It's like, another year you guys fucking failed. I just
beautiful. I love what
I'm-
playoff hockey does to fan bases.
it's funny, man. It's like I'm so happy too because Toronto, as long as they don't win a cup, there's hope for us because
Yeah, right.
it's like, okay, good. Toronto hasn't won a cup. They can't win a cup. The Flyers cannot be the team that has gone the longest without winning a fucking cup. Please, God, Toronto, never win another fucking one until we do. Then you can win as many as you want. I don't care after that. It's like, go on a fucking dynasty. Don't give a shit.
Sorry, Harper doubled, tied 2-2 now.
Nice.
Harper doubled to score Bomb, who had doubled before that. So
Uh,
2-2 top
I love
6.
when they do that. Love when they do that. Just keep it going.
Right now, it's still 4-1 here, late in the third. We got about 4 minutes left, at least by my view. I might not be 100% accurate because someone might be ahead of me.
I'm at 353.
Okay, so Bry's ahead of me.
About the same spot Bryce.
Yeah, I'm actually ahead of you guys, so y'all can fuck off. Usually I'm like 3 minutes behind.
This is Bry reveling in the fact that he's ahead of us because all Flyer season long he was behind us. Let's see here. John saying his new nickname is G-Spot because he is spotty in the playoffs and he is a real pussy. Wow. Damn, John. Damn.
The hate is strong in you, young John.
Yeah. What side of the force do you fall on? I think we already know. Oh, man. Let's see. John Malmos. What's up, John? Saying West, Colorado versus Edmonton. That would be a fun series between the two of them with the goal scoring that both of those teams have. Woo, that would be fun. Just see Cale Makar putting up a hat trick and Connor McDavid doing the same fucking thing in the same game. Yes, they'll do the same thing Ovechkin and Crosby did to each other in that series in the semis because it's possible with those two fucking players.
And it's been big. You saw, Kadri calls that injury to Bennington, who had been playing lights out in the playoffs. And, Ville came in and was, very rusty, and it showed. And, has not performed well, and that gives them a 3-1 commanding lead in that series. So, that was shaping up to be a fierce series before that play. And you can call it clean, you can call it dirty, that he was pushed in, whatever your opinion is of that. But it was definitely a big time turning point in that series.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, God, I'll say this about Kadri. He would have fit in just fine in the 90s and in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He would have fit perfectly on any team.
It's good seeing that's what that team needed, that level of play. That's why they've been a great regular season team and a poor playoff team. You need that you need that guy that's getting underneath. You need that guy that's going to drive you to throw a water bottle at you during an interview after the game. Like, you need that. You know what I mean? As much as you hate them when they're not on your team, you love them when they are on your team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Flyers fans, anyone who remembers good old Shell Samuelson, or Ulf Samuelson, yeah, you didn't like it when they weren't on your team, but when they were playing for the Flyers, you're like, yeah, bash his fucking head in. I don't care. Oh, but Ty Domi can go fuck himself. Agreed. And Dylan saying Tanev is in for Calgary. It looks like big help, which, of course, Tanev is always a big help. And Don saying, how about Evander Kane in these playoffs? Yeah, I know. I'm not happy about that, too. Like, fuck you, Evander Kane. Seriously. Fucking dude.
Hat trick the other night, yeah.
I just hate that. It's like, my problem with Kane is it's like, yeah, he's got all the talent in the world, but he is such a fucking prick with everything, It's like, I cannot stand that guy. And yes, he played for the Sharks, so you would think I'd be happy he's rebounding. Nope. Not at fucking all. It's like, fuck you, Kane. Seriously.
You look at a guy like that too, and you're absolutely right. I mean, he's as talented as just about anybody, and it's all a matter for those types of guys. It's all a matter of who's willing to take the risk. You know what I mean? And you look at like our organization, they very rarely take that risk to get that high reward. and that's why we're sitting at home. And Evander Kane's lighting it up in the playoffs.
Mhm.
That he is. That he is. I mean, the last time I think the Flyers took a risk, it was on Brizgalov, and we all know how the fuck well that ended. That didn't end so well.
Humongous big.
Yeah, humongous big. Afraid of bear, but bear in forest. Although I will give that Penguins fan credit when he showed up in a giant bear costume in Game 1 of that
I
playoff
love
series.
that guy.
I
I've
will
met
give
him a
him
couple times.
Yeah, it's like, all right. You might be a Penguins fan, but I can admit, if I was there, I would have taken a picture with him. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see here. So looks like the Hurricanes pretty much going to close this one out. We got seconds left on this. Meanwhile, they're showing a highlight of Johnny Hockey right now. 13 points in 10 games, having himself quite a nice playoff. Gotta love it with Johnny Hockey showing up, and now we're gonna hear all off season how the Flyers should trade for him.
How many rumors?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Here comes the rumors. Oh no! Come on, Carolina. Sustain pressure in the zone, please. We're good here. 5 goals. We're good. I don't need an empty netter.
Right.
We've seen enough 5-1 hockey games. I think we've seen probably the most 5-1 hockey games I've ever seen in my life. Ooh.
Here you go.
We
Ryan
got some
Reeves doing what
chippiness.
Ryan Reeves does.
Yeah, with Domi. What a surprise.
Domi. Domi is his dad.
Get a max.
I would. I wish the refs would just kind of let him go, but it's because it's the end of the game. They won't.
Nice takedown defense.
Oh, we got Cole and. Ooh, is he gripping up here?
Nice takedown defense.
He's got him in that front face.
Dobie's giving it back to a little face washing.
Yeah.
You know, this is good. This is playoff hockey. This is what you want to say. Oh, nice. But I'm telling you, man, it might have been a foolish move. I think they awoke a sleeping giant. Because, the Rangers did not look good in the first 2 games of the series.
No, they didn't. But also, to be fair, not only waking up the sleeping giant, sometimes when you go home, it's just what the doctor ordered. You get in front of your home fans, and that kind of also recharges the batteries a little bit. So it might have been a combination of the two.
It's the way playoff series are supposed to work, right? You win your home games.
Yeah, Reeves, he's chatting, chirping at Domi. Domi's trying to ignore him. Domi's now fired. He starts to chirp back, and then okay, you know what? You're an asshole. Well, you're an asshole too.
Give me a second here, boys. My free agency just opened up on fantasy football.
Big night for you, Brian.
I can finally get these guys I've been waiting to get since the freaking draft.
Man, fantasy baseball must be dying, man, dude. It just seems like the fantasy football season comes earlier and earlier every year.
Well, for us, this is a dynasty league, so we're just trying to.
I get it.
There was one other guy.
I have nothing against fantasy football either. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know you don't. Who the hell was the other guy I was looking at? Oh, Taylor Batty.
The Rangers have their 5th straight home win in the playoffs. So the Rangers have been a pretty dominant home team in these. That might actually benefit them. I mean, not in this series, but, may come back to help them if, say they win Game 5.
Right.
Oh, boy. That might.
They carry the momentum from these 2 games and get a tough road win. And then you come back to MSG Game 6. You got to feel pretty good if you're the Blue Shirts.
Yeah. Let's
hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not. I hope. I pray to the hockey gods that the Hurricanes have a storm surge in Game 5 and put the Rangers on their ass. That would be nice. And let's see here. Swoopy saying, you guys seen the fight between Toronto and Lightning fan after the Leafs loss? Actually, no, I did not. I'm sure it was hilarious. Oh, no, wait a minute. I did. I saw a post of it on Twitter. One of the few times I was on Twitter. And they said, yeah, Flyers fans need to realize that it's not, or it's like, Flyers fans aren't the worst. It's the Leafs fans. I think that's what the post said.
They're Canadian. Makes sense.
Oh, wow. What a game from Andrew Kopp, man. He assisted on both of those first 2 goals, and he was responsible for those crisp passing that I was talking about, and then nets a goal of his own later on. First star all the way.
Nice. I do like how they highlight the first stars. They do this whole big kind of like lights go down, show them off in the spotlight kind of thing. They don't always do that in every arena.
Yeah, go get yourself an interview. Go get yourself an interview.
He was always second star for that performance.
We gotta get a mask interview. Oh, Jesus!
Oh
Christ.
no, he's first star.
Of course they are. Come on, man.
And listen, I don't think it matters if she's wearing a mask or not. I think he's just happy he's right there.
I mean, Emily Kaplan's she's all right.
Right.
She's all right. I mean, she's
Bunch of savages
She's
over
not. She's not Kaylee. What's her name? Kaylee Chelios.
Yeah, but they're no Taryn Hatcher. There you go.
I don't know.
I rest my case.
I think Chelios' daughter is a little bit hotter than Taryn Hatcher, and we all know how I feel about that.
Wait,
Right?
what's the name?
Don't be abandoning your girl like that, Bri. You were swooning over at Taryn all freaking season.
Of course, you'd be stupid not to.
Let's see.
Kaylee Caley Chelios.
Let's see. John Malmo saying, "I would laugh at Toronto, but how bad have we been? Look at the Flyers the past 7 years." True,
I mean,
but the
she's
saving
got a
grace
little bit of
is
her dad in her, though.
Yeah, and married. So there's another. Yeah.
And a couple kids.
Yeah.
So Greg's like, "I'm out.
We're out. Back on Taryn.
Yeah."
Heard that.
You were out the moment you saw the ring. Not even the kids. It was the
I
ring.
was the moment I saw Chris in her face, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, then you're like, no. I remember your dad. No.
By the way, talk about Robbie. Talk about ripping heaters, right? How many heaters did Chris Chelios rip? Like you can tell what he's doing, like his pre and post game talk. Like my man ripped some heaters in the day.
No lies.
Oh man, the best highlight for me though was when Chelios got jumped by Hextall. That was fucking hilarious when he did that. I was like, it was, what was that? I think Chelios did that. I forget who he did that hit on.
Bases loaded for the
Brian
Phils.
Prop. That's right.
Yeah,
He hit that.
Yeah, he slew foot him, and he cracked his skull on the ice.
That's right. And then Hexley's like, oh, that's how you want to play Chelios. Okay, motherfucker. Let's see. Let's go.
I think I'm well beyond the statute of limitations here when I admit this on air. But one of my first Flyers games that I went to, I chucked the battery right at Chelios' head.
Let's go.
I got up like stealth, and I just gunned it and sat down, and nobody knew where it came from. And I just sat there quietly. Only the person I was there with knew it, and they were sweating. They were sweating like a little bitch.
Did you hit him?
Oh, I got right in the back of the helmet.
Yes.
Fucking jerk off.
I will say, I've had myself a Flyers fan moment too. I remember the Devils scored in the game, and I yelled out, "Fuck you, Devils."
Now, do I promote this activity? No, I am not condoning my poor behavior. But if I had a chance to do it again, I probably would.
Probably would have.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I agree. But we don't condone that. We don't condone throwing batteries at players, and we don't condone throwing wristbands onto the ice.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. A few drinks will make you do weird things.
No, I think I was like, I think I'd have been like 12 or 13.
Oh, okay, never mind. So you were just a young buck, and you were just like, fuck this.
I drank in the parking lot before the game.
Okay.
You have to. It's so much cheaper these days.
That's true. Fucking beers are like $1,000 in the fucking arena with inflation and everything.
$7. They're even expensive in the minor league stadiums too. Like we're charging it's like $11 or something like that.
Christ
for
almighty.
For some of our drinks.
Whew. Jeez. Yeah. Drink in the tailgate. Don't drink at the building. That's our tip. Pro tip when you go. Rob's saying, who you got in the late game? Well, let's see here. Calgary and Edmonton. After Edmonton blew them out, I'm going to go Calgary. I think Calgary rebounds here and ties up this series. I don't see Calgary being comfortable after that loss. I really don't.
No, it's Daryl Sutter. He's going to rebound. They're going to make the adjustments they need to, and St. Jerome is going to help them get back to even here.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Flames bouncing back.
I guess I'm going to be the contrarian pick. I think Oilers go up 3-1. They take advantage of being at home. They're getting a rebounding Mike Smith, finally playing some solid net. Minus the two early goals he gave up in game 2. Since then, he's been on fire. Excuse the pun.
He's
but
on fire.
He is on fire. But going back to the Saddle Dome, I think Calgary gets right back into the series 3-2, and then wins a tough game 6 to bring it back game 7. I think this goes 7 as well, but I just think all the mojos right now, at least, is on the Oilers side. So I'll go Edmonton.
Interesting. So you're looking at the 3-1 comeback from the Flames.
Right. The Flames are going to win a game in Edmonton. It's just not going to be this one.
I got you. Game 6. Hey, look, Bush is doing the color. Hey, Bush, what's going on, man? Always nice to see you, Boucher.
It's weird how NBC Sports folk have gone in different directions. A couple to TNT, a couple to ESPN. It's like when you have to select new teams in gym class. You know what I mean? And they go in different areas and shit. But Bush fits on ESPN. I don't know. There's something about he's got that edge in his voice all the time. You know what I mean? You got to be pretty proud of the broadcasting career that Brian Boucher has put together, because he makes spot on points all the time. He's clear and concise. He doesn't have much loose talk like you see with me, every show all the time. He's got a great career. I think he could be one of the next great ones in this business.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's not even that. It's also his knowledge of his game, the game, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything, and I think that's kind of what makes him a little bit better than most. I like Bush.
So John says to Greg, to Steppy here, saying, making the rare appearance, put your GM hat on and give me a move or two to help fix the orange and black. And reminder, we have $6 million in cap space
for now.
Well, first of all, I would replace the actual general manager. Get rid of Fletcher. That'd be first. And then I hate the retread. I hate retread. I hate retread coaches. I don't even know who I want. I just all the names out there. It's just all right, I get it. Yes. Torts, I guess Torts is the big name right now, right? And it's just oh my gosh, do I really want to root for John Tortorella? No, I don't. It's like the Sixers. You bring back Doc Rivers, I'm out. You bring back James River, I'm out. James Harden, Doc Rivers, whatever. They're both the same guy. They both stink. I don't want to listen to Tortorella all season. I really don't. I don't know. I'd almost rather go. You got a young team, right? You're gonna have a young team. I'd almost rather go with a young up and coming coach and see if you can find the lightning in a bottle. That some of these other organizations have come to. Bringing in Tortorella, bringing in Trotz. These guys, we're not ready to win a cup. We're not even close. And anybody looking at these last 4, these last 8 teams, I don't know how anybody can say we're even in the same arena as these teams skill wise, right? I mean, are we that far off? Yes, I do think we are. But does that mean that's a long term? No, you just have to find lightning in a bottle, and to me, you don't find that going to retread Central every time as a head coach.
Now, I think Trotz could be a decent mix of the two in terms of being able to improve this defense with this system, develop young players. He's done that in this league, but I think there's still better names out there, and I think they've superseded Torts at this point but I know I'm going to tickle Brian's fancy when I mention names like Paul Maurice. You know what I mean? That would be a great. Even Claude Julien would be great would be a better
Oh.
for where this team currently is.
Oh, my fancy's been tickled. Oh. Yeah,
I'll give you a
like,
reach around with the light spanking.
it's almost like I mean, I want them to get a head coach before they get anything else, and mainly because I think that's going to tell us where they believe that they are. Most of the fan base is going to believe that this team is rebuilding. I don't necessarily think they need to rebuild. I think they just need to figure out a way to develop some of their talent a little bit faster without actually skipping some stuff. Because I believe they do have talent in this organization. I think the right coach will help bring that out. Do I think John Tortorella is a great coach? Yes. Do I think Barry Trotz is a great coach? Yes. Do I think they're a good fit for this organization? No. Because I honestly don't even think Paul Holmgren knows where this organization is right now. But if they can get a head coach, and I know Barry Trotz has had some success as a rebuild coach, but I think Barry Trotz is at the point of his career where he just wants to go places where he can win. And he interviewed with Winnipeg, which I think is a good place for him. But I also think he winds up in Vegas and turns that organization back into, I'm saying this like they've been out of the playoffs multiple years now, but back to the playoffs and back to a contender. Because they do have the roster still to be a cup contending team, and I still think they are. I think if they can get Barry Trotz in there, they're right back in it. But as the Flyers goes, they need a guy who can, yes, be a guy who can win now, but also be a coach that can develop the talent. Because they have the guys there. I honestly do believe the right coach will bring out the talent in this team, because we know TK can be a 30-goal guy. We know Coots is a 30-30 guy, a top 3 two-way center in hockey, a good shutdown centerman. It's the young guys that I'm concerned about, and Edmonton's on the board already.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oilers just scored.
That didn't take long.
Like seconds into the game.
I'm just gonna shut up.
I'm sorry, Brian.
21.
Literally. Oh my God, that came right the fuck out of nowhere.
But yeah, I mean, they got to get the coach first, and then worry about the roster after that.
You know what caused that goal? Markstrom not be able to get to the puck because it was out of the trapezoid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a
Great
disaster.
effort, but good.
No, Markstrom just he just put it right out in front of his own net, like a.
Well, yeah, then he got the
But
second
it was the first one, Robbie. You're absolutely right. It was the first one. Kind of threw off the whole sequence. You're right.
Yep.
They would have gotten the puck out of the zone. They wouldn't have had that pressure there.
Yep. That was wow. Okay, so we are off to a rip and roaring start in this one already. 1-0 Edmonton.
I had flashbacks of Briz passing it to David Clarkson.
Oh my God, that goal! Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad series. That whole series was terrible for the Flyers against the Devils, of course. The fuck else? I don't know why that series pissed me off, because I actually thought the Flyers had a shot at beating them, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Now that I've gotten old and cynical, I realized, you know what? Why the fuck did I expect the Flyers to beat the Devils? They never fucking do. Why did I think this one would be different? Oh, anyway.
Well, I think too part of the Flyers too is in this rebuild, retool, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. I think they have to look outside the box in certain areas too. You know, they don't have to be, as the great Tommy always loves to say, not everything's got to be missionary. You know what I mean? Like, not everything's got to be missionary. Like, you know, if we're gonna be young, then let's be young. Don't yo-yo these guys around and let them develop and stuff like that. Or if we're gonna go old veteran, then move these guys. And it's, you know, but they got to look outside the box. Some of these rebuilds or retools can get flipped real quickly if you look outside the box and you do things that aren't conventional.
No, that's
Totally.
fact. I mean, look at the Rangers. Look how quickly they flipped their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Willie?
And you got to get guys
Willie.
playing together
Wills.
consistently too. Like, yeah, what up, Wilson? Like that. Don't break up the lines. Keep them up on up with the big club, and just allow them just to build chemistry. There's been so much of like trying to fix it instead of letting it organically grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the worst things that the Flyers have done over the last couple of years is keep
Bryce,
shaking
what
up
up,
the
brother?
lines and filling some of these holes with vets that bluntly don't need to be here. They don't need to be here. Yeah, and Bryce, I agree. They do have to hit on the draft, but a lot of times before we're going to know what the Flyers are going to, these future Flyers are going to do, you got to develop them a little bit. And
Yeah.
the big thing for me is they also have to stay healthy, because you already lost out on Sam Morin, who's retired at 26 because he can't stay healthy. Right now, you are not necessarily sure what you're going to get out of Wade Allison, because he's another one who can't seem to stay healthy. But we know sort of what to expect after that small taste that we got from him. We know he's going to be dog. He's going to go for the net. He's going to win your puck battles. You still have a few more question marks down there. And I think one of the guys that needs to get a serious look in camp is Tyson Forrester. Because if he really has that shot that they say they do, give him a chance. Let him play, bring him up, let him play for a couple weeks, see where he is. If he's not where you want him to be, send him back down.
Yeah.
And not only did they miss out on Moran, too, but you also have to think you missed out on Patrick. Obviously, he's no longer here. Number 2 overall pick, right? I mean, that's a huge miss. Injury side, organizational issues, whatever you want to, however that, worked out, he's no longer here. That's a huge miss.
No, you're right. What Wills was saying, watching the playoffs shows how the Flyers are how far they are from contention. They don't belong on the same ice as these teams left.
Yeah, it's night and day. Absolutely.
Really
just
is.
the compete level, above all else, let alone the skilled passing. I mean, the frustrating thing with the Flyers, Wills, is that you see it in flashes here and there. And we saw it a little bit from the young kids when they got an opportunity later on. So hopefully they can continue and further that progression. I mean, Noah Cates looked fantastic.
I think Edmonton is a great, obviously they got absolute studs all over the place, but take a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, right, and throw on the Flyers. Do they give him all this time in the world to develop? Right? You know what I mean? I don't think they do. And Edmonton, lucked out, of course, by getting Draisaitl and then McDavid, of course, and that all helps. But it's like the guy like Nugent Hopkins who took a little longer to develop than your normal number 1 pick. But they had the infrastructure and the ability to let him go. I think the Flyers, if you swap them, I think they get rid of him 3 or 4 years into it. And just be like, oh yeah, he's just not here.
Well,
and he's such a huge part of their depth now up there.
Yeah, and one of the
absolutely.
biggest issues that the Flyers have had in terms of developing young talent, and this goes back to the issues that I've been stressing, is that the Flyers always want to put themselves in win now mode. They never want to do actual development. Oh yeah, very good.
No,
save
Matty,
there.
you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And that kills the team's development of these young players. And I think it's contributed a lot to the issues that we've seen from some of the younger players. Players like Provorov, although he has had his own issues. And then you also have issues with Konechny. I think a lot of that is contributed to they want to not necessarily develop these guys. They would rather just throw them onto the team when they feel they're ready, and they should just do fine and go for it. We should be able to win a cup now. It's like, it's not how this works. You've got to actually take your time with your young talent. You need to take your time. Stop rushing players. I mean, There are occasions where they waited a little long. I felt like they may have waited a little too long on Carter Hart. I feel like Hart is still capable of being the starter. I don't doubt that.
Sure.
Do I think that Hart is perfect? No. But he definitely has the ability to be that franchise goaltender. And I think we can all agree on that. It's just one of those things of development-wise, you need to take your time with these guys. You need to be a little bit more patient with them, and treat that. Understand why you develop young talent. Don't just get young players, throw them out there, and then either A, get lit up, or B, they get absolutely just devastated because they're not ready for the big game, And when a player's ready, okay, then they're ready. And I feel like the Flyers just have a terrible time figuring that out because they're too busy just trying to do the win now bullshit. It's like, got to change your mentality. Got to change your mentality. If you want to get young, get young. If you want to win now, all right then. It may be a lot harder for you to win, but you go that route, see where it gets you. But unfortunately, we've been going that route for a decade. What's it gotten us? Fuck
You're
all.
absolutely right. Yeah, and I think Konechny, as you brought him up, is a huge part of that, right? He burst on the scene, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got something here. And then the expectations on him just mounted, right? He was supposed to be the next 50, 60 goal scorer. And that's just that's unrealistic for the guy, and you put him in spots to where you thought he was going to develop, but you're right, Matty. When you continue, and this is kind of where I go back with the retread of coaches. When you continue to retread the type of veteran coaches that they have, you're absolutely right. You put yourself in win now mode as opposed to, hey, let's see what we have. Let's develop a year or two. Let's see what we got. Let's take some pressure off of these guys before we mount, right? I mean, that's where Edmonton, to that point earlier, that's where Edmonton was able to do that, right? They were able to let McDavid grow into the monster that he is, and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and Nurse to grow into their roles. We take these guys and try and fit round pegs in square holes all over the ice.
And also Edmonton, has been attempting to build around Connor McDavid in terms of the offense. Where, defensively, that was where a lot of people were a little concerned about them. The biggest concern was their goaltending. But developing their offense around Connor McDavid, it's not really an issue, And you see teams do that where they get a young player that could be a superstar. They build around that player, but they do it in the way of, okay, we need to also still draft young players to build up with him. And then at the same time, when the time is right and we know that we're there, we're just on the cusp of competing, then we can bring in some of those veteran players to add to that leadership. You're going to have some veteran players on a weak team. It's going to happen. But some of them are either at the end of their career or they aren't like elite level. They're solid. They're not elite level. But they teach young guys during that development cycle. But once you get to that point where, okay, we're a bubble team, we just missed the playoffs, now we can start bringing in some players in the offseason that are veteran players that can get us over that hump and get us into the playoff competition because we've built up the young talent. Now it's time to get the support for the young talent, and then we can go forward. If you don't have the support immediately there, maybe you do. Maybe you already drafted that support and it's there with you. Sometimes that happens with teams. Sometimes not. Just depends on how long your either retool or your rebuild is at the end of the day. But that's usually how you got to approach it.
Well, I think the most important thing that I think we're missing, and Greg, correct me if you did say this, I think the one thing that the Flyers keep doing, and this is really hurting some of the development of these guys at the NHL level, is jumping from coach to coach to coach to coach to coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
That hurts. You look at teams like Edmonton, you look at teams like Anaheim, you look at teams that are rebuilt. Some of these teams that are just coming out of the rebuild. LA, they're sticking to their coaches despite the record. The record doesn't matter. They see the important part as player development. If they win, great. If they lose, it is what it is. It's the game. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose hockey games, but they find a coach that fits the developmental scheme that they're trying to do. It fits their players, and they rock with the coach.
No, you're absolutely right.
This is what's hurt Provorov, and I think this is what's hurt TK and Coots is in what 5-year span they've had 3 head coaches,
About that, yeah.
4 head coaches, something like that.
Yeah.
That's not going to help any player development. It's really not, because they have to learn scheme after scheme after scheme after scheme. It hurts development more than it helps.
And how they fit into that scheme.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're seeing these guys. You're seeing these guys. McDavid, Draisaitl, Jesse Puljujarvi, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Darnell Nurse. We want to keep using Edmonton as an example here, but this is perfect because Todd McClellan was there for a very long time. And every year wasn't pretty, but they stuck with their head coach until they knew that they were a playoff team, that these guys were ready to compete. And then the first year that they missed, Todd's out. And now they have, I don't even know who they have right now, to be completely honest with you. But, you get your team set up with a developmental coach. And you have to stick with that guy. You can't be. I get the Flyers are a major market team. I get that. The fan base is demanding this organization to win. But the fan base has to realize, like, hey, we need to develop some guys here. Let's stick with a year or two of losing, get some good draft picks, get a good coach in here that can develop players and win hockey games. Let's go from there.
Yeah.
You look around any professional organization, and those teams that continue to recycle coaches and replace coaches, they're usually not in good spots.
No, and look at where the Flyers are now.
Yeah. It's we've been saying this for a while. We've been saying this since the season. The Flyers need to decide what the hell they want to do. And in my opinion, they do need to rebuild. And the problem is that they don't want to embrace it because they don't want to miss the playoffs. And again, go back to that win now mentality. It's like that win now mentality doesn't work right now. It's not going to work right now. You don't have the ability to say, well, we can win now. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's time to get yourself out of that mindset. Let's develop these players. Let's build this team up. Let's not worry about the playoffs right now. Fuck the playoffs. Playoffs don't exist. If you get to the playoffs, great. It's a cherry on top of the cake. But let's develop the players and let's see how they go moving forward. Let's look at Owen Tippett. Let's see what we got with him. Let's see if we can get Konechny back to where he was. Let's see if we can get Provy back to where he was. Let's focus on that. Let's see if we can get Wade Allison up and healthy and see what he can do in the depth side of things. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on Cam York becoming a player on the blue line. That's a solid player on the blue line. Let's focus on that. Let's not focus on, if we make this 1 or 2 move, we can be right back in the playoffs. Like, great. And you just killed the development of 3 of your top players. Why the fuck are you doing that? You shoot yourself in the foot every fucking time you do it. And it's pissed me off so much over this last decade because I see it happen all the time. And they refuse to admit that there's a problem. It's like, okay, you wasted Claude Giroux's career. How many more are you going to waste? How many more great players are you going to fucking waste? You going to waste Cam York's career? You going to waste fucking Hart's career?
We're going on Coots right now, right?
Yeah.
We're working our way through Coots' career right now.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to waste him too? I'm like, all right, guys, you just keep wasting players. Have fun. Enjoy diluting yourself even further. And everybody wondering, why can't this team be competitive? It's like, I'll tell you why. It's just team's fucking dumb. That's why. There's fucking idiots.
Let me ask you a question, Matty. What do you consider a wasted career? Just because you don't want to cut?
No. Because you never took advantage of that player. You never built around that player properly. You allowed your bullshit mentality to get in the way of, okay, what is the logical step here?
Zach Hyman.
Let
me put it. Let me put it to you this way then. Okay, so you want to say we wasted Giroux's career? That never built around him. Because let me tell you something. I don't necessarily disagree with you. If you look at his statistical numbers and you look at where he's placed in the organization, He did all that despite what the Flyers have not done for him.
But again,
I don't necessarily think his career was wasted because he still did what he did for the organization.
and that's great and all. It's just we could have done so much more with him. We could have actually had a really great team centered around him, and we didn't do it. We constantly worked against him, because we thought, okay, we'll go get Voracek, even though he's a passer. It's like, that's not going to help the situation. Voracek's a passer. He's not a goal scorer. We cannot put – Giroux's a passer, not a goal scorer. Yes, he can shoot. He can score. But that doesn't mean anything if you got two passers on the same fucking line and no goal scorer. And they never did. It's like, God damn it. And that's something you've been saying for a long time, Brian. It's just that one little thing right there could have changed so much for that top line alone. And then the lack of taking time with your young players. And then the other issue of let's win now instead and bring in players that maybe past their prime. Just a few. Like, hey, Vinny Lecavalier was great for the Lightning, but then you fire Peter Laviolette, and what a shock. Lecavalier doesn't fit in Philadelphia under Craig Berube's system. Wow, what a shock. You mean a guy who's more defensive-minded, more hitting, instead of goal scoring? Wow, I couldn't imagine why Vinny didn't fit in Philadelphia. It's like that mentality it killed this team in the 2010s. Yeah, we got to the playoffs a few times, but then we got our asses smacked right the fuck out of it. And it's like, well, what was the fucking point then? You worked so hard to get to the playoffs. You face a way better built team and a way better organization, and they kick your ass. It's like, wow, you did so much. You did so fucking great.
But that goes ahead to prove my point there, Matty, saying that, they were too impatient with some of these coaches. They never should have let go of Laviolette the way they did.
Oh, no, they shouldn't have. I agree.
I'm just saying that, most of those players thrived under his system. Did some thrive under Berube? Yeah. But again, it goes back to this organization and this fan base not being patient enough.
Yeah.
And that hurts development.
Oh, yeah.
It does. And I think that's a part of the reason why Carter Hart's having this issue. I also believe that he was also brought up a little too early. I don't think he was brought up too late. I think he was brought up too early. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of growing pains with him. I think he's going to be fine. Don't get it twisted. He's going to be fine. He's going to be a franchise goalie. But I think he was brought up just a little too soon. And, you're going through growing pains with some of these guys, younger guys on the defense as well, like Sanheim. And, Moran was a huge question mark. And you have Robert Haig, who never developed into the player they thought he was going to. But that also hurts your goaltending as well. But ultimately, it comes down to when you're changing your head coach every 3 years, you have a problem.
Yeah.
You have a problem. And it goes beyond the players. Because the players can only do what the coach says and the scheme that the coach puts out there.
Absolutely.
And I don't necessarily always blame the players, but again, it comes back to this front office not knowing what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Not knowing what they need to do. Not knowing how to say, hey, let's take a step back. Let's develop these guys. Let's take a year or two and get some good draft picks and let's build something good here. Let's find a good coach. And it hurts development. I think we're seeing that with the guys that we're seeing struggle right now, that we need to be able to produce guys like TK Couturier. And I think if we can get the right guy, Attard, Noah Cates, Tyson Forrester, some of the other younger guys that are coming up, Wade Allison, you're patient with them, you're patient with the head coach, you're going to see these kids thrive. Because Wade Allison was a steal in the draft. He was projected to be a first-round pick, and we got him in a third. You got to be patient with these kids.
No, you do.
But they got to play. But they have to play. You have to see what you have.
Mm-hmm. John saying, how much of this upcoming season's success depends on the guys coming off down years? Hayes, TK, probably a lot. Pretty much almost all of it. Them coming off of down years, yeah, that's a big part of if the Flyers are successful next season. And Tonton say Jeff Blashill would be a solid coach with the Flyers.
It would be really funny if he came to Philadelphia and just absolutely set the world on fire.
I would laugh my ass off.
For Don.
We would have that on Don for the rest of our lives. John saying the Ryan Ellis injury killed us last year. We got, 4 games out of him? That too. Ellis getting hurt did not help anything whatsoever. The leader of your defense is gone literally 4 games into the season. Yeah, and you wonder why the defense fucking blew ass.
Is he under contract? Did they extend him after they traded for him?
No. He had a long
6-year contract. He was already on the deal.
It was already a long deal. Okay.
Yeah. John saying
initially it was supposed to be, from what I understand, it was supposed to be who's the other defenseman from Nashville that they were talking about? Matthias Ekholm initially. And then they pulled the deal off to get Ryan Ellis. But, Ryan's just got to stay healthy. He has injury issues his entire career.
Yeah, come to Philly, because we love that
It's right in.
shit.
yeah,
Right in.
traditional.
Jesus.
We're very traditional here in Philadelphia. John saying, do you think the Flyers front office is worried about attendance because last year after feeding us bullshit, Flyers fans stopped showing up? Probably. But at the same time, it's like they got to look in the mirror and fucking realize, well, you put yourself in that position. So if you think that doing some fucking slapdash, put a little duct tape on it and fix it, that's going to solve the fucking attendance issue, you're wrong. It's going to take a lot to convince the Flyers fans, like, okay, this team's actually going in the right direction because you see it happening on the ice. When Flyers fans see it, they're like, yeah, why the fuck would I waste my money, which are not cheap tickets, by the way, to go see a team that's fucking dog shit? Why would I do that?
Hang on. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Their attendance issues this year had more to do with COVID than anything else. It had more to do with COVID than anything else because you had to have your Vax card, you had to have this, you had to have that, you had to have Met. Some people just didn't feel like dealing with it. Was there a bad product on the ice? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. Are there going to be Flyers fans that don't pay to go? Yeah, there's going to be no Flyers fans to do that are going to pay to go see a bad product. I wouldn't. Actually, let's be real. I probably would.
You're like, sweet, I can get lower level.
Exactly. But the reason why they had attendance issues over the last couple of years wasn't because of the play of the team. It was because of the COVID restrictions that they had set for the arena.
Yeah, I would agree with that in part for sure.
Because you saw once they started to open things up a little bit more, you saw the arena fill up a little bit, and then things kind of went downhill. But
yeah.
No, I was just up trying to read it. Yeah, I was just trying to up and read it.
All right, so here we go. We got one of Ryan's paragraphs. Ready? Swoopy's coming. Ever since the early 1990s, the Flyers have traded young players for vets. They've wanted to be filled with to get to be their top scorers rather than their leaders, mentors and locker room guys. Yes, you want vets to also be point producers too, but you mostly want the vets to be the mentors in the locker room and speakers, while having the young guys be mostly the high point producers. I'm saying the vets shouldn't score, but they shouldn't be the main point guys. They should be the leaders. And it continues on. But all the same, we know that Ryan makes a good point. All right, so to finish off real quick, so to finish off a couple of the series, we'll just give a quick prediction for what we got coming up here. We already talked about Calgary and Edmonton and the Hurricanes and the Rangers. What do you think do you see from the Avalanche and the Blues? Who do you see? What do you see in the next game?
Another Colorado victory. I think they've taken the reins on that series.
All right.
Is that 3-1 right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's over. The loss of Binnington is just tough.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that Binnington right now would be making much of a difference. I think Colorado wraps it up.
Sure.
I mean, as much as I thought the physicality of the St. Louis Blues was going to slow down Colorado, it really hasn't. They haven't allowed the Blues to play their game at all this series. Maybe one game, but I don't see St. Louis, especially going back to Colorado. I don't see it happening. I think Colorado finishes it off.
That's a big aspect of this. I mean, can Husso find his game? Sure, but it's a tough task.
All right. Yeah, I think Colorado finishes off this series, and we get them in the Western Conference Finals. So we will have 2/4 of our conference finals ironed out. We'll just have to wait to see who wins the Battle of Alberta and who wins between the Hurricanes and the Rangers after that. All right, then. So let's get ready to finish up with our shootout segment. But first, our periods brought to you by, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, or you have a change of career in brokerage, contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820, and visit them on the web at alan.foy at exprealty.com. It's always a big step in life and always a big change when you go from one home to the next, or you have a change in career. Listen, do it right. You don't want to make a mistake. So go to Alan Foy, and he'll take care of it, and he'll make sure that it's done properly. So that way, you got nothing to worry about. All you got to do is pack up and get ready to move. That's all you got to worry about. And we go on to All Campus, who are giving 20% off of everything in their store, including hats, shirts, and to all their subscribers. John Coyle, who runs the ramp booth down there in OC, great show, and also great place too on top of it. So go check it out if you ever head down to Ocean City during the spring and the summer months. Always nice to head down to the shore. Check out All Campus. You'll have plenty of great stuff there.
About to be popping.
Yep, absolutely. That time of the year. And of course, we are not just doing BetUS for you to make money. We also have FanUp, which is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports and daily NBA contests and more. You can win great prizes, and if you sign up today and use the promo code A2D, you get 5,000 bonus points, which is a $50 value. All you got to do is go to fanup.app and, make yourself some cash. Like we said before, Willie Vegas, Money Pot, they're not going to lie to you. They know what they're talking about. They know their shit. You'll get plenty of money off of that. And our shootout segment, as always, brought to you by the one and only Doc himself, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. Got any aches and pains, you can go to specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and you can check them out in Cherry Hill or Burlington, New Jersey. Bry used them, his shoulder, and it's never been better since he went to see them.
Doc's the best.
All right, then. So, gentlemen,
really is, and then that staff there is amazing.
Yeah. All right, gents. So our shootout segment to wrap this one up. Our shootout segment today, we usually have our best moment of the week as one of them. So I think we should start off with that. What was your favorite moment this week in playoff hockey?
So many of them.
Yeah, right.
Claude Giroux and the Florida Panthers losing.
Of course.
In epic fashion.
He couldn't help it. He had to do it.
Couldn't help it.
You know what? I'm going to be repetitive here and say how Mike Smith turned around his game. Getting lit up like I said earlier, we'd get lit up like a Christmas tree in game one, gives up 2 early goals in game 2, and has found his game and has given up 2 goals since in 5 periods of hockey. So, pending this game tonight, I'll say that's my best moment.
And so far, so good. It's 2-0 Edmonton. So, for me, game 1.
I got the baseball on. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Me, Battle of Alberta, game 1. That game was just fire. That was a treasure.
That was epic.
You knew that it was going to be fun seeing Calgary and Edmonton face each other since the early 90s when, it was the golden age of that rivalry. To see those two put on an 80s style hockey game in 2022 Like that's my favorite moment. That was epic. That was fun. Bri, what about you?
I don't know, man. It's tough. I would have liked it better if it was the other way around, where the Lightning were getting eliminated. But just because I'm over seeing them win things, I'm tired of seeing that city win things. I'm tired of them being the city champions. I'm over Tampa Bay.
Don, love it. That's another good one.
That is good. Favorite moment, Toronto watching the second round from home.
I think it's despite seeing Binnington and Kadri have an issue, and Kadri receiving like death threats and stuff like that. Seeing him come out last night and have the game that he did, which I believe was 4 points with a hat trick,
Right.
to come out and overcome all that and just absolutely light the world on fire last night. I think that was a tremendous moment, not just for the hockey world and the hockey community, but for guys who play this game that receive racial mistreatment, I guess is a way to put it. For guys like him to have to deal with that is complete and total bullshit, and the fact that we're in 2022 and still dealing with that crap is absolutely ridiculous. So
Amen.
For me, that's a huge moment, not just for the hockey world, but that's a huge moment for guys who are of a different race, to put it in another way.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's never tolerated. It shouldn't be tolerated. And we do have Michael Cambria saying, "Way to go, Rangers! Never quit." What's going on, Mike? Yeah, Rangers got a big win tonight. They've tied up the series, and now they can carry some momentum possibly into Game 5 up against the Hurricanes. John's, the pen's choking after being up 3-1. That's his favorite moment. That's a good one. I'll give you that one. That's a good moment.
That's bittersweet, though, because you had the Rangers win.
I know. That's the negative. Like, the good news is the Penguins are gone. Bad news is the Rangers are in the semis. All right, so let's see here. Favorite goaltender that you've seen so far in the playoffs?
This one's simple. We saw him tonight, Prince Igor. I mean, just phenomenal. Another 30 saves tonight. He had a little down period early in that Penn series, but since then, man, he's shown that he could be the next elite goaltender in this league.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He plays for the Rangers. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I know, right? The Metropolitan. So much fun to be in that division. Yeah.
It's okay, Greg. We got two.
Yeah.
We got Hart. We got a backup plan for Hart as well.
Yeah, so there you go. My favorite goaltender so far in this playoff. I gotta say, just because I like the story of a guy who was not known as a top player in terms of goaltending, I kind of got to roll with Ronta. I just like the fact, you know what? No one yet. 5 years ago, did we ever think Antti Ronta would be having this kind of a year? No. Antti Ronta is a solid backup, but he's not a starter, And sure enough, he's like, "Oh, I'm not a starter. I'm not a starter. Hey, okay, right. All right, I'll show you. I'll show you big time."
we talked about this a lot, Maddie, when we had Sam Weismer on from Flyers Nitty Gritty. She also does a Hurricanes podcast, and there was a lot of heat in that decision of going Toronto over Freddie Anderson. And she called it like it is. You got to go with the hotter hand, and the hotter hand is Ronta. I mean, so this is why you can't listen to the public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but after the last couple of games and how things have been going in the playoffs, I think once Anderson's back, you have to go with Freddie.
Yeah,
I think you have to go with Freddie, especially after the last couple of games. Ronta has not looked good, proving. Jesus, what a snipe! It was Evander Kane.
Oh, God damn it! That just ruined
Scumbag.
I got Edmonton over 3.5 goals. we might hit it in the first period. Like
Yeah.
cha-ching.
Go on.
How much money you been making on the side here, Greg?
It's been the hockey playoffs have been pretty lucrative.
Nice.
Hello.
So, Michael Layton for comparing him to Runta remind us of home, right? Yeah, okay. Maybe that has something to do with it. Can't deny that. Anyway.
For me, though, it's got to be Darcy Kemper. I mean, he's a guy who's really proved his worth in the NHL after being stuck in Arizona in that wasteland for a few years. Really going to Colorado, really, showing the world that he's a starter, and especially in these playoffs, he took a stick blade to the eye and came back a couple games later, and he's no worse for wear. He's still winning hockey games, and he's just
11 goals for Evander Kane.
He's been a stud.
I mean, I would say that I'm disappointed. Unfortunately, I don't think that really covers how I feel about Evander Kane. Let's see.
I'll finish up and just go with the guy who's just smoking hot right now in Vasilevsky. You know what I mean? Like, he's just out of his mind right now. Stop. Once he decided he wanted to stop toying with Toronto, he was just like, "This goal's shut. We're done. We're good."
Yeah, he closed up shop.
as Uncle Sleep says, "Check, please."
Yep.
Check, please.
Yeah. This is what happens when you poke a sleeping bear. You don't ever fucking do that. Toronto just had to fucking do it.
Hey, what I said before about Igor wanting to be that next elite goaltender, well, Bazzi is that elite goaltender. It reminds me so much of Patrick Waugh. It's sick.
And listen, if the Rangers do manage to win this series against Carolina, holy shit, you got Prince. You got the Prince going up against the guy who is currently the best goalie in the NHL right now. So it's like, holy shit. Don does say, favorite goalie is Jordan. Oh, wait, never mind.
I almost wanted to go Ottinger after Game 7, but
yeah.
you obviously can't go when you lose. But oh my God, that dude was epic in the third period and overtime.
Oh yeah, to say the least.
He was pretty epic in that entire series. And
yeah,
that was just this Calgary team. Despite what we're seeing tonight and what we saw in the last couple games here, this Calgary team is better than what they're leading on. They just.
The look on one of the Flames' face was kind of funny. He's walked down the tunnel just with his helmet. He's like, what the fuck was that?
Got to stop the bleeding. They just have to stop the bleeding. And I'm going to take this jersey off very quickly.
Because of that.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
John, I totally agree. I'm a jinx sometimes.
John's saying, my favorite goalie this postseason was Bob because he helped send G home, although it wasn't his fault.
Hey.
John is one of the best Sith Lords in this entire fam right now. Just the pure hatred.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Tad, them talking to Torts, I don't want it. That simple as that. Don't want it. All right. Next up on that shootout segment, we have our. We don't really need to predict the second round. We've already been doing that. So let's do our final one, hot take of the week. Next week, gentlemen, we should see the third round up and running. Hot takes?
Edmonton's in the Western Conference Final.
All right.
This goes against everything I've predicted.
So that qualifies.
Is that a hot take though?
I mean, for him it is since it goes against everything he predicted.
I predicted him out in the first round.
That's a hot take. I'll give it to you.
Oh, so let's see here. My hot take.
Fucking believable.
My hot take is we will see in the Western Conference Final. We'll see a quick Western Conference Final. Whoever the Avalanche, I say the Avalanche like they've already won the series, but they kind of already have. Yeah, so whoever they wind up facing, they'll finish it off quickly. Since that seems to be the trend that they've been doing in these playoffs, I'm going to stick with it. Like, all right, they'll finish it up in 5, or they'll finish it up in a sweep, and they're going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. And second part of that hot take, they'll finish it up quickly in the West, and they'll lose the Stanley Cup Finals. Because you finish up your series quickly, you fuck yourself for that Stanley Cup Final, because you'll face a team in the East that's had a tough series, and they'll be ready for a tough battle. Colorado might not be. We saw it happen to plenty of teams. Happened to the Flyers in 97. Breezed right through to that Stanley Cup Finals and got their asses kicked by Detroit. So, just saying, it's happened. It's happened. That's my hot take.
Those Detroit teams were stupid.
They were, and they just got out of a 7-game war with the Avalanche, while the Flyers were sitting back after they'd swept the Rangers.
Stupid. Oh my
They're
god,
about to be stupid again in another year or two.
No, they're not. Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been building up for a while.
Right coach, they got the big. I think they have the roster.
I think Mike Babcock's available.
Last I heard, he was doing something with North Dakota in college hockey or something.
That's all right. He'll just say, "Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go back to Detroit where I had my success."
Detroit, right?
Yeah. Then, of course, we laugh now. Then he goes on and wins 2 more cups with them. And I'm like, God damn it. What the fuck, Mike?
Ooh, Don.
Yeah, he's saying
Don on the Berube train.
All right, hot take. Blues come back from 3-1. Hey, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Ted saying, yeah, Brian had Flames beating Oilers because of their speed. Oilers adjusted.
Who did they play in the first round?
Shut your mouth, Greg.
Calgary had Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Oh,
in the first round?
Oh, Nashville. No. That was Avalanche.
Colorado, yeah.
Oh, Kings.
I really thought the Kings were going to take him. I really did. I really thought the Kings were going to take him. That was my hot take after week 1. After the first game we did our thing, but
here's the thing, though. Wasn't a bad choice because that went to 7. So it wasn't exactly like the Kings rolled over and died. They fought hard in that series. So,
Do you boys all give your hot takes?
I did. Greg, did you give one?
I didn't go yet.
Okay, go ahead.
You go first because I got a granddaddy of them all.
Tampa Bay 3-peats.
All right.
Hot take.
All right.
You got the button. You can boot him out of here, right?
But I'm not going to.
And what's sad is I want to go with the West. Like what I'm watching, what we're watching in the West is so much fun. But I don't know, something about Vasilevsky getting rolling and just we've seen this game before.
So basically, this answers Greg's question. Like, does it matter? The question: does it matter who Tampa's playing? No. It doesn't matter whoever they're playing. They're beating. Oh, John. It's like 5'6" Giroux could barely reach the nipples of the last legit captain the Flyers had in Chris Pronger, not counting party boy Mike Richards. What is Richards doing now? Hopefully not nose candy. He might very well be.
He's a professional fisherman, believe it or not.
Really? That's what he's doing
professional
now?
Fisherman.
Holy shit. So
he's definitely
a Mariner?
doing nose candy.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I'm assuming it's somewhere in Canada, but yeah, he's a fisherman.
He's a Mariner
now.
then.
If
That's
you
his
go to his
official
IG,
title.
yeah, if you go to his IG, it's filled up with freaking pictures with him and fishing and all this other stuff. So I thought that was a pretty awesome transition.
So if you ever see
cool.
they ever do televise those fishing competitions ever again, you see Mike Richards on one of them. Be like, oh, he's taking a break. Got to go take a quick nap in his inside the fishing ship. Like, oh no, he ain't taking no nap. He's having himself a little bit of he's having a snowstorm in there.
Waves are thrown over white caps.
Yeah. Oh man. So let's see here. Selke.
Robbie. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Paul Maurice, the Flyers' next head coach. Interesting. And Giroux's 5'10". All right, Robbie, what you got?
All right. Since 1909, the 1909 1910 season, if I can spit it out, the Detroit Red Wings have the most penalty minutes by a team in a playoff game with 152 minutes in the box in Game 5 of the 1991 playoff series against the St. Louis Blues. My hot take is the Blues will beat that record of 152 minutes in the box in Game 5.
Oh,
of those
okay.
series.
Whoa, that is a doozy.
Okay,
like
so we're gonna get a bench brawl.
Make sure to tune in for Game 5.
We're gonna see a shit ton of suspensions being thrown out, a shit ton of fines. Boy, it's gonna be a great day.
That series has got the most nastiness and the most bite, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, especially if the game gets out of hand early.
Does Braden Shen break the camera in the penalty box again?
Yeah. No, he actually grabs the camera that's in the penalty box. He takes it and he whacks someone in the freaking head with it.
Well, who was it the other day that actually? I think it was actually Braden Shen who actually took his anger out on that camera with his.
Yeah, so yeah.
That poor
for that
camera.
high sticking. That was down ice level.
He was beyond pissed. He was yelling at the ref, and then he looked right at the camera too, and he knew exactly. He's like, all right, fuck this camera. And he just started whacking at it. Oh my god. As Selke, I don't know if Giroux resigns with Philly. Depends on what he wants. He might want to win a cup, so he might stay in Florida.
No, I mean Chuck Fletcher's already come out and said he's not going to go after Claude Giroux.
Yeah. All right. So now that we gave our hot takes of the week, that pretty much does it, gentlemen. So another week here done. We got the playoffs rolling through. Second period between Edmonton and Calgary was starting up soon, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of that. We'll see if it becomes a competitive game or if Edmonton decides to say, you know what, I think we just want to put another 5 spot, 6 spot, 7 spot on these guys. Why not? Because they can do that on a whim whenever they feel like it. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll see what the third round brings us when we get to the conference finals for the East and the West. It should be very exciting no matter what series it comes out to.
Oh, my.
Yes.
That last comment. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Oh,
What
no.
happened? I see. Interesting. Okay, so let me just put the block button on that. Okay. It was a fun distraction for the moment.
Come on, man. I wanted to find a girl even in the shithole.
Oh,
What
they
is-
were in there on Sunday. They're all over.
Oh,
Jesus.
I
listen.
didn't let Wilson click on the link though.
Remember, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Oh boy.
Rob's
Stop it, I'm trying to hydrate.
yeah. Spit take. All right.
I almost did after Don told me to stop ordering porn. I don't have to order. You know it's free on the internet.
I know. Who buys porn anymore these days?
Seriously.
If you're buying porn, then you're probably the creepy old man that no one talks to in the neighborhood. But anyway, Greg's looking
There's no risque videos anymore, Don. You don't have to order nothing.
All right. As always, guys, we're brought to you by Manscaped. But if you do want to support the show and you want to support A2D in general, Bri, where can they go to get their official A2D merchandise?
I mean, if you want to get that merchandise, and I totally think that you need to go to this website, you go to phillydrinkers.com. That's Philly Drinkers LLC. Alex Einhorn, the man over there, selling up quality shit over there. They got shirts, hats, mugs, blankets, whatever you can think of. Got a specific show on the station that you like? They got specific show shirts. You want to rock in this very ring? They got shirts for that. You want to rock a hockey happy hour? They got shirts for that. Just go over to Philly Drinkers LLC. That's phillydrinkers.com. Alex, like I said, he's got quality stuff over there. He'll take good care of you.
Absolutely.
SJM,
Meanwhile, Rob is like
what's
laughing.
SJM just joined us, and he's like, "What the hell did I just walk into?" He probably
Are you
came in with the
unfamiliar with our
shocker.
Anyone familiar with our show? Come on, SJM. This isn't your first go around with us.
SJM, by the way, I'm throwing you in the box because this is the second week in the row you have joined us at the end of the show. Brother, you've got to get here on time, man. We want to hear you. We want to see you. Ace, and you keep coming in right when we're signing off, bro. Get a 2-minute minor for coming in late. Take that any way you want. But all right. On to our show sponsor, Manscaped. 20% off free shipping with the code A2D. That's 20% off free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Yes. And it's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. What do the ladies not like, Brian?
Junk funk.
Yes. So don't have junk funk. Make your life better. Make everyone better. Yes, JF says, I know, dude. I got to pay my bills. Well, at least you're understanding.
Listen,
Hey,
we gotta pay our bills too.
According to that porn link, they like junk funk.
Yeah.
They lost
Or
me.
was that
I'm out.
or was that funk in the junk? I don't
Funk
know.
in the-
I think it's funk in the junk, or maybe they want that junk in their trunk. I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out, but
Either way, no junk
I
funk.
got it from all three.
All right. So
I like
we'll-
this guy.
on that note,
I hope
think
you have
so.
a big trunk because I'm gonna put my bike in it.
oh my God.
Don't forget to lube it up first, man. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bit of a tight fit. You just want it to slide right in.
We're going down a slippery slope.
All right, Maddie, get us out of here. I gotta go.
All I have to say is, if you're going in without the lube, you better have a pillow handy. All right, so, gentlemen, we thank everybody for joining us for another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. If you're still with us, God bless you. If you're not with us, you're a better man than me.
If we see you next week, God bless you even more. We better see you next week.
We thank you all for joining us for another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. Next week, the conference finals should be up and ready to go. We'll have our final 4 teams in the NHL, and we'll see how that starts out for us. So, see you guys then. You stay safe. You stay healthy out there. No junk funk. And look up Manscaped. Until then, guys, we'll see you next week right here on the Hockey Happy Hour. Peace and love.